We start this 15-minute sequence by placing the hands on the shoulders and doing some nice big chest rolls to open up across the chest. Take a breath in as the shoulders roll forward and up, and then exhale as you bring them down. Breathing in to lift and open, breathing out to relax it down. Place your hands by your side, tip your head across, and just create some length down the side of the neck on each side. Just relax your breathing. Bring your feet in underneath your hips, standing tall, and we move into some roll downs. So you're trying to move at each individual level of the spine as you roll towards the floor. Pause for a moment and then stack the vertebrae up bone by bone until you finally roll the shoulders back and lift the head tall. Take a breath in at the top and then breathe out as you roll down. Try and make sure you keep your knees soft so they shouldn't be locked back. There should be a slight bend in them. Exhale as you roll back up, stacking each bone in sequence. Breathing in at the top. Exhale with nice relaxed floppy arms. Breathe in at the bottom. And then exhale slowly, returning back up with soft knees, tucking the bottom under, standing tall. Move so that you stand at the end of your mat. Roll down once more, nice and slowly. And then step your hands forward, and we're going to move into a downward dog stretch. So with this one, we've got our hands forward and we're moving our body into a V position. And you're just gently pressing each heel one at a time, alternating them, feeling the stretch and lengthening up through the back of the legs, and at the same time pressing your chest through between the shoulders to open up the chest and under the arms. Just take your time with it. Doesn't matter if you can't fully straighten the legs. Bring your knees down to the floor, and we're moving into hands and knees position with a long back, doing some cat curls. Take a breath in when you get to the top, and then exhale, flatten and just lengthen your spine out. Breathe in again. Empty the breath as you lift up. Take a breath in at the top, and then breathe out to flatten. Take a breath in. Exhale to lift. Breathe in at the top. Exhale to flatten. Once more, take your time, opening up across the back, feeling that stretch just across the top of the pelvis and through the lower back. Then make sure your knees are a little bit wider than hip width apart, and we're going to thread a needle. So you're bringing one arm up from the elbow, then unfolding so the hand reaches up towards the ceiling, and then thread it underneath the other arm. So the arm that's staying on the ground should bend as you thread the arm that's moving underneath and across the floor. Breathe in as you lengthen, and breathe out as you rotate under. Take a moment to rest back in child's pose with your bottom on your feet, just with some relaxed breathing before we repeat it on the other side. Coming back up, with a bent arm we rotate, reach to the ceiling, then draw the arm underneath. Breathe in as you reach and open. Breathe out to follow, dropping the shoulder towards the floor and bending the supporting elbow. Don't rush the movement, just make it an easy flow. Inhale, reach. Exhale, tuck under. From there, we move back again and rest back into child's pose with a nice long back. We start to add some arm strengthening, so we do a little commando push-up and then rock back to child's pose, bottom on feet between each one. Breathe in, lower down onto your forearms. Breathe out to push back up through the arms. We're going to do 8 of these in a row. Just watch when you bring your pelvis forward into that knees down plank position. that you don't let your hips drop too far forward. You want to make sure that you're tightening up through the front of your tummy when you move into that knees down plank, and that's going to help to protect your lower back. So you want a nice long back. You don't want to sway in it as you're doing your arm movements. And if it feels too difficult, don't come quite so far forward. Breathe in as you lower, breathe out as you press up, and then sit back into child's pose. We're going to get ready then to just add in some little push-ups at the end of that. So we move forward again, set your shoulders down so that you've got a nice long neck. Then breathe in to lower and breathe out to push back up. Again, if it feels a little bit too difficult, step back in so that your pelvis sits higher. And then keep going with those press-ups, breathing in on the way down, exhaling as you press back up. When we finish, we rest back and once again give the wrists a break and allow the back to lengthen. I'm going to move on and do a little bit of work around the buttock area. So back onto hands and knees again. I want you to bend one foot up and float the knee off. If you can, the opposite arm is directly out to the side. This is going to challenge your core and your balance a little bit more. And you're going to do a bent knee kick up towards the ceiling. The trick with this move is to not allow your belly button to drop towards the floor. So as the leg presses up, you want to draw your tummy muscles in to keep your back nice and long so that it doesn't collapse at the center. So we're just doing 8 each side. Come up, sit your bottom on your feet, and then just keeping a straight or upright body, we just do some little drop backs with the bottom and then squeeze forward through the bottom muscles and the thighs to lift up. Once again, that gives you a little bit of a break for your wrists. And then we're going to repeat the same movements. So if it is a little bit difficult for you to have your arm floating out to the side, you can easily bring that just back down to the floor. Exhale to kick up, inhale to lower, trying to make sure that you stay still everywhere else and that you just get a well-controlled rotation going through your hip as you're kicking up and down. Once you've finished those 8, sit back on your feet again. Exhale, squeeze through the bottom, bringing the pelvis forward, and then breathe in to drop back. So it's a nice little activation sequence for your bottom muscles. We're going to move on to our side now and keep going with some side buttock muscle exercises, which is a clam, and we're going to combine it with a little gentle side plank. So knees are bent with feet in line with bottom and shoulders. You're rotating from the hip to make a diamond shape with those legs, and the knee should float up and back down. Try and keep long through your body, so try and make sure that your top hip stays pushing away from you and you're creating space between the rib cage and the hip. We then move up onto our forearm and you're going to lift the pelvis up from the floor, trying to think about pinching in at the underneath waistline. Exhale to lift, inhale to lower. When you've done 8 of them, have a lie back down. We go back to working the side buttock muscles, but this time with a straight leg. So make sure that the foot is in line with your hip and your shoulder and that the top hip is rolled forward. So you want to be feeling that and that just behind the hip bone and not as much down the thigh. When you finish those, back up onto your elbow and you're just going to lift the hip up again. Exhale, narrowing in at the waistline, pulling your belly button through to your spine as you lift, and then controlling the melt back down. We have a lie down and we just move into a couple of stretches. So just lengthen out that top side, pulling your fingers and your foot long away from you, and just a couple of easy tummy breaths. Fold your legs out in front of you and move into a telescope arm rotation. Slowing down here so that you can enjoy the stretch across the chest and through your back. Breathe in as you open. Breathe out as you close. Inhale, open, bringing the shoulder back towards the floor. Exhale, close. We press up, move your towel or pillow across, and you're going to do exactly the same sequence on the other side, starting with the clams with bent knees. Roll your top hip forward and push the top hip down towards the feet so that you're nice and long through your trunk. Then keeping the feet on the ground and together, we rotate that top knee up, making sure that you're not allowing your pelvis to rock backwards. So you're just keeping that top hip stacked. Then we come back up onto our elbow, making sure that your shoulder sits directly above your elbow. And we're doing those side planks, keeping the knees together and on the floor as we do these ones. So we're not going too difficult at this stage. We come back down onto the floor. Underneath leg stays bent and out in front of you. And the top leg's right back in line with your shoulders and hip as it raises and lowers. Try and make sure you're pulling those toes long away from you as the leg moves. Back up onto your elbow and just repeating that second set of knees down side planks, just to get the abdominal wall working a little bit here. And we move into telescope arms once more. So knees are bent right out in front of you. Inhale as you open broadly. Exhale as you touch the hands back together. You're turning your head to face the ceiling so that it's following the arm as it opens. Once again, we stretch out and lengthen through the entire top side. From there, let's roll over onto your back and move into some more abdominal work. It's a good idea to have a towel folded underneath your head because it helps to relax your rib cage down at the front. Here you've just got your hands placed on your lower tummy, knees are bent, your feet are in line with your hips. Let your thigh bones sink into the hips and you're just belly breathing, doing some alternating bent knee floats. Exhale as the leg lifts. Inhale to lower it down. Exhale to lift, making your tummy small each time you breathe out. Breathe in to lower it down. So exhale, narrow your waistline. This time we put our hand behind the knee and we progress to doing some toe taps. The leg that stays up in the air is supported with your hands. Keeping the knee bent, you're lowering one knee at a time down to touch the toes to the floor and back up. Do a long, slow out breath as you're doing the toe tap, and then breathe in when the legs come back together. Think about trying to flatten your lower back down into the floor as the leg lowers to stop from feeling too much tension in your lower back. Long, slow breath out, narrowing the waistline as the toe taps down and up. Then breathe in when the legs are coming back together. Let's take the feet down to the floor and with your hands behind your head, elbows are wide, we move into some crunches. The breathing is exhale as you lift up, thinking about sliding the lower ribs down towards the pelvis. Your eye line should finish looking at your knees when you come up. And you're aiming to draw your belly button through to your spine and get a flat appearance through your tummy wall as you come up. Exhale, lifting. Inhale, lowering. And we finish that with just some tiny little arm flutters. So you're holding your crunch position still and you're just gently patting the arms down towards the floor for a count of 10 or 20. Hug your knees to your chest, relax your head back down onto the towel and just make some gentle small circles. We roll through our side and then we come all the way back up to standing. We finish then with some squats, so just working the legs. Let's start with a narrow base because it's a little bit easier for your pelvic floor to connect and work in this position. When you're squatting, you want to try and get your pelvis dropping back behind you rather than allowing your knees to come too far forward. We can make that a little bit harder by taking 1 foot forward and doing it as a single leg squat. Breathe in on the way down, and as you're coming back up, exhale and think about lifting from under the seat bones in the bottom. So you're really pressing down through that back foot and trying to feel the buttock muscle come on. With the feet staggered and the body weight going down through the front leg now, we bend the front leg slightly. And with this exercise, you're doing a pivot around the hip of that front leg, thinking about using your bottom muscles to rotate your trunk back up and straighten, not using your back muscles to do the movement. So set your shoulders, pull your belly button in, and with a straight long spine, breathe in to lean forward and exhale to straighten, pushing down through the front foot. Eyes look down and then eyes lift up as you straighten. Okay, and then just lastly, we take our feet nice and wide apart and just make some little figure eights of your shoulders. Relax your breathing, breathing all the way down into your pelvis. Now we turn our right foot to the side, left foot forward, and with a wide stance, you lean down along that left side and you reach the other arm all the way up over your head, so you're getting a beautiful stretch. Then you do exactly the same to the other side, sliding the hand down, bringing that arm up over your head to feel a beautiful stretch through the side back muscles. Just breathing easy. We finish standing tall with hands on tummy, doing some belly breathing, and just add your pelvic floor exercises in standing here to finish.